You are now listening to The Box Out with Kahlil Thomas and Jason Kahlil on the One Podcast Network. Let's get it.
From NJ to BK in the world, is The Box Out here on the One Podcast Network. My name is Kahlil Thomas. Joining me in a few minutes will be Jason Kahlil from Brooklyn, New York. Thanks so much for watching our second podcast in 3 days. 3 podcasts, 3 days, One Podcast Network, doing big things. We're back. I'm exhausted. As you can see from my eyes, I'm tired, but we came back. We won the preview, the NBA playoffs. I know we have 2 playing games left, but I think we can kind of jump ahead and talk about the playoffs as a whole and not just playing games. So we're back for that. As you can see, I'm wearing my Knicks polo. I'm a fan. You know, he has to do a podcast. We are journalists on this show, correct, but we're fans as well. So I'm going to celebrate that. So we had our 2 playing games. Sorry, we had 4 playing games. I just forget that. 2 teams advanced into the playoffs or into tomorrow night's games to decide the final NBA playoff bracket. Tomorrow night we have the Hornets and the Magic facing off, and then the Warriors and the Suns. Warriors beating the Clippers last night. Kind of a surprising result. I know a lot of people picked the Clippers to beat the Warriors. Steph Curry pulled up a Steph Curry game, 30-plus points. And now we have a pretty good game tomorrow night where you have the Warriors against the Suns. The winner of that game will face off against the number 1 seeded OKC Thunder. And then in the East, you have the Hornets and the Magic. They're competing to get the rights to play the number 1 seed Detroit Pistons in the Eastern Conference. So we're going to start talking about the playoffs right now. And we can't start with the number 1 seeds in both conferences because obviously we don't know their opponents yet. So it's hard to kind of make a prediction about that. We will, however, start with our 2-7 matchups in both conferences, starting in the Eastern Conference of the Sixers versus the Celtics, which I'm torn on this, and here's why. The way the Sixers played yesterday, when you have Tyrese Maxey, when you have VJ Edgecombe, Embiid was on the bench. Embiid was there. He just had an emergency epidectomy. I hate saying that word. So his availability for game 1 or the series for that matter is unknown. But when you have Tyrese Maxey playing as well as he is, VJ is playing really well. You get Paul George back, and Paul George is not Paul George of years past. We can say that now. But he's still Paul George. And if you get Embiid back, even at 55, 60%, he can give you something. Against the Celtic team, Tatum's back, and Tatum looks like he never left. Jaylen Brown was kind of holding it down. He's still doing his thing. And those other kind of supporting cast members in Boston really kind of finding their roles and really figuring out what works, what doesn't work. Celtics will win the series. However, in how many games, I don't know. I think that's going to be the question. What a lot of these series we're going to talk about tonight is the winner could probably be predicted, but how long the series goes becomes the next question, because deep down, the Celtics should take out the Sixers in 5 games. But the Celtics will probably win their first 2 in Boston. The series will shift to Philly, and Philly, as the Knicks saw last year, is a tough place to play. So can the Sixers steal 1 just being on their home floor? That's going to be interesting to kind of see what happens. As I welcome in Jason Kahlil from Brooklyn, New York. What's up, Jay?
Not much. I see you got your Knicks gear on. You ready for the weekend?
I'm ready to go. I'm hyped. I started talking about the 2-7s first. Obviously, we can't do 1-8 previews because we don't know what the hell's happening there yet. I start with Celtics Sixers. I don't think the result is in question. I think the length of the series is the question. Do you agree with that?
I kind of agree with that. If Embiid was playing like how he was down the stretch, then I'd be like, this could be a series. But I think the Celtics will take care of business in maybe 5 games.
Yeah, I was saying the Celtics will definitely win the first 2 in Boston. I think that Philly crowd and playing in Philly.
Game 3 is critical.
I think the Sixers still game 3. How the Celtics respond in game 4 would be the question, right? You took a punch. Can they counterpunch? Obviously, last year with the Knicks, Tatum tears Achilles, and that just deflated the entire series. So if Tatum didn't get hurt, what would happen? We don't know. If the Sixers win game 3, the Celtics will probably take the punch, but you still got. I think Maxey at this point in his career, and he did it last night, he can will a team to victory. You have Maxey, you got VJ. You got whatever's left in Paul George, and you can get a 55% Embiid. He can give you 15 points. I just think the stars would have to align, but with Philly, it really could align, and they could kind of give Boston a lot of trouble where this can go 6, maybe 7 if Boston just gives the game away.
I'm going to surprise you with this one. I think it's going to be the best coach series in the first round.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's funny because Joe Mazzulla still rubs me the wrong way. He's way too weird for me. He's the weird dude, but he's so so good, and he just knows. He's like a Sean McVay. He's like savant.
Very, very accurate statement.
And then Nick Nurse is just Nick Nurse. Nick Nurse has just been dealt bad hand at the bad hand of the bad hand.
But he maxes them out. He maxes them out.
So I'm gonna go with you and say Celtics in 5, but I almost want to put an asterisk next to this to go in 5. Parentheses, if Boston doesn't just give up a game, because I can see a close-up game them saying, fuck it, and just
if somehow Philly steals one of these first 2 games, I think we're in for a long series. I don't see it happening. However, I definitely, like you, I think game 3 is critical for Philly. They have to get that. Or it could be a sweep.
Yeah. Switching to the Western Conference 2-7 matchup, San Antonio versus the surprising Portland Trailblazers.
I told you they were going to win.
Listen, you did. I didn't see it. Listen, who knew that Chauncey Billups' team would actually succeed when he got arrested? I never thought that shit would happen. It's crazy. Oh, did you see the Trailblazers yet?
No, I'm gonna watch that tonight.
Okay, I'm off Saturday. I'm gonna watch it Saturday night. So when we come back next week, we'll have a review of the Trailblazers. The biggest surprise of that Blazers Suns game, and I know when he got drafted, we were on, and we were just like, who?
Cool. Yes.
Denny Advia. Where the hell did he come from? Like, what did we miss on Denny?
I don't know, but the reason I picked Portland is because I went to the Portland Nets game, and I was like, oh, who is this guy? And I saw how he dominated, and I was like, okay, I think he could do the same thing in the play-in game. So I don't know. Shout out to Portland for screwing him up, but I think this is where the buck stops. I think the Spurs handle them in. I don't want to say 4. I'll give Portland a quarter, where they make it interesting and maybe extend it to 5 games. But I don't think they get swept either. I don't think they get swept.
Yeah, they're not getting swept. I think same idea with Philly. I think Portland get game 3, game 4 just to get one win and give them, send the crowd home happy, and they'll have that one game. They might be down 3-0, but we can't get swept at home. And they'll win game 4, lose game 5.
Yep.
What intrigues me is the 3-6 here, because the Spurs versus either one of these 2 teams, the Nuggets and Timberwolves, I'm not sure the Spurs can get past either one of these teams. And I know I sound crazy saying that with the season they had, and Wemby's killing it, and Stephon Castle's a superstar now, and Harper's the man. But with the Nuggets, you have experience. The Timberwolves have a lot of experience, and you have a really hungry Anthony Edwards.
Mm-hmm.
This series is intriguing because I think this can go 7. And I've been staring at this all day. I don't know who wins this series right now. I'm going to let you talk on it. And while you talk, I'm going to make a final decision right now.
The only reason why I'm going with Denver in 6 is I trust Jokic down the stretch more so than I trust Randall, Anthony Edwards, that whole school, the coach, everything. I just trust the championship DNA, and this is the best Murray season we've, statistically wise. This is the best season he's ever had. For that reason, and bringing back Brown, that's why I'm going to lean towards them in 6. I can't trust Julius in the big spot. I just can't against Jokic. I trust him in the big spot, but not against Jokic. And I think this is where Denver shows their championship DNA grit and ink out this series in 6. I don't think it's going 7.
Okay. All right. I was thinking while you were talking.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go Nuggets in 7 in this one.
So you think it's going 7? Okay.
I think it's gonna go 7. It bothers me. What's up, Dad? What's up, Bruce? What's going on? I think we have PTSD from Julius Randle being here, and we know, Ant is gonna do his work.
Mm-hmm.
Nas is gonna do his work, and then you need another person, right? It's not gonna be Dante. It's gonna have to be Julius Randle. And when you come down to it, when Ant is sitting, when Nas is sitting, when Julius is on the floor, can you depend on Julius to give you 5 good minutes and not take the game over, but play well enough where the fort is held down when Ant and Nas ain't in there? And like you said, I don't see it. And I think in a game 7, under pressure, where Ant's going to be amped up, Nas going to be amped up, and you're going to have a Julius Randle who's going to be looking to take over because that's what Julius does. Julius going to want to shoot that ball and show that, I'm just as big as Ant. That's where he's going to get in trouble in like a game 6 to game 7. I think it goes 7. I think the Nuggets wins it in 7 games.
I think once Minnesota is eliminated, they're going to throw their hats into the Giannis sweepstake along with along as Miami and other contenders out there. I think this is where you're going to start seeing people going to start figuring things out. Like, can Ant and Julius really play together? Even though they went to the conference finals last year, and they went, and Ant's been there 2 years in a row. But that first draw against Denver is tough, especially a healthy Denver finally at full strength. It's going to be tough for them.
So we're going to move on to our team, Knicks versus Hawks. What's up? Let's go New York. Let's get it. I was talking to somebody at work today, and I'm like, I'm excited for the series. Only because Trae Young is no longer an Atlanta Hawk. Like, it calmed my nerves. So I'm like, oh, shit, the Hawks. Oh, shit, Trae not there. All right, cool. I think Mike Brown and the way his rotation has been going, and we talked about the rotation and how you're trying to figure out who to play what, and there's too many guys. It might have been a blessing in disguise because, Brunson got a lot of rest during the season. Josh Hart got a lot of rest. Cat got a lot of rest. He was able to sit these guys down. Last game of the season, he satellited these guys. Tibbs would have made him play 45 minutes the other day. You have a way better rested Knicks team against the Hawk team that is up and coming. They traded the superstar, and now they're going to run with their guys. They're going to run with Johnson, and Johnson's going to, lead them. I said earlier Knicks in 5. I know Bruce just said Knicks in 6. I'm going to go Knicks in 6 after thinking about it a little bit more. I think Knicks takes the Hawks in 6 games. What do you think?
In the famous words of Shannon Sharp, I'm going to go Hawks, Seahawks, Silverhawks, Knicks in 5.
Damn.
And the reason I'm bringing this Knicks in 5 because I think this is what you brought Mike Brown in for. He got the team going into the playoffs healthy. I think they was holding a lot of stuff close to the vest. Mm-hmm. As you saw later on in the season, like all of a sudden, Cat and Brunson are playing the 2-man game pretty well. I think we see more of that. I think the Knicks are ready. They're ready to make a run at the championship. I think this is their best team going in the last, God knows how long. This is their best shot at handling business, and I think they know Boston's pretty much going to handy Philly. So you want to get this Hawks team out the way early because your next eventual round is a heavyweight fight. So I think Knicks in 5. I think the Hawks are the Detroit of last year, where you see the pieces, the building blocks are up and coming, but kind of like last night with the Warriors and the Clippers, I believe in having some, not say championship DNA in the Knicks, but they've definitely been battle tested in the playoffs, and they know how to turn that. I think the switch has been on for a couple of weeks now, but I think they're ready to go. I think this is a very short series. I don't think the Hawks guards can keep up with Brunson. They'll probably try to mix and match, and that's going to cause foul trouble for them. I think Cat has a dominant series. I think Cat averages 25 and 12 in the series.
We have a sweep in the chat right now.
I mean, if they don't win game, I think game 3 is very crucial for Atlanta, especially with all the New Yorkers down south. I think if you remember that year when they played Philly, and all of a sudden we're like, damn, there's more Knicks fans in Philly.
it was loud as hell. It was loud as hell in Philly.
That is nothing compared to Atlanta. What's going to happen in game 3?
Listen, as someone with family in Atlanta transplanted from New Jersey, I know. I know. It is what it is. But yeah, I mean, you want to get it done early. You don't want to sit and mess around with the Hawks, so you want to get it out. You said 5, I said 6. Just get out the way because they're more than likely going to face the Hawks. The Celtics. Mm-hmm. You want to be rested for that one. I'm also intrigued on how Mike Brown does the rotation and who's going to be in that 9-man, possibly 10-man rotation and how he does it. Because I really do think, Alvarado's going to be off the bench. After Alvarado,
are you sure? Because I was trying to think of the rotation too. I was like, you got Miles, you got Shamet, you got Clarkson. Are we sure we're gonna have room? We're gonna have room for Alvarado.
I'm gonna bring this up real quick. So now you'll be thinking like maybe it's not gonna be Alvarado. Let's see.
Definitely not no Dewara. He's not.
God no. Clarkson. I know we did this last week, but now I think we have to do it again. Clarkson. Hart, Alvarado, OG, that's 4. Brunson's 5.
Mm-hmm.
Mitch 6. Bridges 7. Cat
Deuce?
8. Cat 8. Shamet 9.
So then what about Deuce?
I mean, coming back from an injury, can he be that tight in the rotation? Can he be that 10th body that you got to give him some minutes to get his wind up and get his game back?
You got to give Brunson a little breather. But then again, this playoff time, ain't nobody getting. Listen, y'all want tips out? This is what you got. This is what you got right now.
I'm sketchy with playing Deuce heavy minutes after he hasn't played in a while.
Agreed.
And get that win back. So I could see a 10-man with Deuce kind of getting 5.
So then he split the minutes with Alvarado.
Yeah, okay. 5 to 8 minutes just to get his wind up, and maybe in the Celtics series to have those minutes increase. And I think you play the hot hand. You see who's playing well. You go with McBride or you go with Alvarado, who's not playing well, sit him down. Same with Clarkson. If Clarkson's shooting bricks, you sit him down. Hey, Jeremy, Sochan, go in there and just D somebody up. Don't shoot the ball. Just D somebody up. We don't want you shooting. Don't do that. So I think having the options are good, but sometimes options are not good because you have too many options and you just just throw whatever to the wind. I think he's really got to nail down who he's going to run with.
I agree.
Which we'll see. In the Western Conference, 4-5, a marquee matchup against the Saturday night, which is bullshit. Lakers Rockets should not be on Saturday night. I'm just saying. Lakers Rockets 4-5. Lakers Doncic is availability is up in question. Reeves is out, so this will be on LeBron. The 75-year-old LeBron James to lead the Lakers to victory. What do you got happening in this series, Jay?
I got Houston. If there's no Luka, I think Houston wraps us up at 5. If Luka somehow turns, that changes my prediction a little bit. But I think the Lakers. I think LeBron is super short-handed. KD, fully loaded team. Even though they don't have a true point guard, I still think they have way more than enough to get past the Lakers.
Yeah, the point guard thing, and I know you've talked about it a lot this season. I think them not having a point guard has been a glaring weakness for this team. And
yeah,
it's a big weakness. I think
not in this series, not in this
series, but I think going forward, and I think there was times this season where they should have won a lot of games if they had someone legitimately running the point.
Yep.
If Vanvleet was there, it would have been good to go. And I feel like they're a cautionary tale of teams who we don't really need a true point guard. We could try different things at the point. It doesn't work. Point guards work, whether it be a scoring point guard, a distributing point guard. I think Fred VanVleet is kind of a combination of both. He can distribute well, he can shoot well, but you need guards. So you need guards to run things. Even with Kevin Durant and my boy Sengun, you still need a guard making sure everything runs right. And I think Houston, that's going to be their bugaboo going into a second round matchup.
Very surprised that Houston didn't make a run or try to convince Chris Paul to run it back for the end of the season.
I mean, he was right there. Now, if he didn't want to go back to Houston or playing with KD, I who knows what Chris Paul's thinking, but you have to make a move at some point. And they're like, Thompson could do it. And he's like, no, you really can't. So Rockets in 5. I think it's going to be over pretty fast. Even with Doncic coming back, he's not going to be 100%. He's going to be slower. And he's already kind of slow, but slower than normal. So it's going to be pretty quick. The other 4 or 5 in the East, you have Cavaliers, Raptors. Also a tough series. I felt the same way about this series with the Nuggets and the Timberwolves. First off, what do you think, Cavs versus Raptors?
I think Cavs caught the break here. We're playing the Raptors. I thought Atlanta would have probably given them more of a fight. I think I have the Cavs going to the Eastern Conference Finals, but we'll talk about that at a later date. I think the Cavs take care of Toronto in 6 games. I think it's good. I think it's a competitive series. I think Ingram will steal 2 games because that's how unfocused playoff Harden can be a little bit. I think it's a competitive series, but I think the Cavs win this in 6. And again, I think Cavs are the nightmare matchup for Detroit, and that's why I think they're going to the conference finals.
Raptors in 6, Harden choke as usual.
No way.
I don't.
Not with Donovan. I think Donovan's going to be the alpha.
I get that Toronto's a 5th seed in a very, I'm not going to say well improved Eastern Conference, but they're not that good. They're not that good. I'm sorry. I think Cavs win this in 5. Even with Harden not shooting 2 for 12 every single game, I think there's enough there with Donovan, with Allen, with Mobley, and with all those other pieces as well, that Harden could have a bad night, but if he's passing the ball and dishing out assists and just making the right moves, they can still win a game against Toronto. I don't think Toronto is going to beat them in a series because I love Scotty Barnes, but great.
I think it's Toronto's first playoff game since the finals, right?
Yes.
I think the home crowd, the original crazy fans outside the arena, that was the Raptors. I think they win game 3, possibly game 4, lose 5 and 6.
I think Drake causes them to lose this series. I think Drake shows up and they go ice cold and they get blown up by 30.
Curious to know how many tempo games Drake will show his face at.
I hope none. I was really hoping Kendrick would just exterminate him, and it ain't happened. And I'm like, okay, I guess we still got this going. All right,
got it going. Yep.
Drake is still a good thing. Obviously, I have 1 seed. We have the Thunder in the West. We have the Pistons in the East. We don't know what matchups they're going to have. We have 2 playing games tomorrow: Hornets Magic and then Warriors Suns. I'm going to pick the Warriors to win tomorrow night over Suns.
I agree.
And the momentum's on their side. I'm picking Charlotte to advance to face the Pistons,
Listen,
which would be a really interesting series.
I think everybody wants Pistons in Charlotte. I mean, it was chipper the last game. Let them fight it out. I think Charlotte will muck it up against the Pistons. It'll still be a 5-game series win for the Pistons, but I think Charlotte will muck it up to the point where we're going to learn. We're going to see how good. I think the Pistons are a little bit better. I think they were a little balanced. I think losing Cade for the stretch that they did kind of got the team better. And they're being treated like remember that Hawks team that won like 70 games and LeBron swept them in the finals, in the Eastern Conference Finals? They're getting treated like that. Like no one.
They really are. They really like.
The second Tatum came back, there's like, hey, no one talk about Detroit. And I think as well as Charlotte, we need this series. America, we need this series because Charlotte's been on a tear and Detroit's been disrespected. And I want 6 or 7 games of that. I know we're not going to get 6 or 7 games, probably 5, but I want that series. Please let Charlotte win this game.
So I know I said Nuggets Timberwolves going 7. Mm-hmm. I think this is a series, if it's Charlotte, Detroit, that goes 7. And it's going to be a hard 7. It's going to be like bad boys type shit, both teams in 89. I feel like they're both chippy. You saw it. LaMelo knocked out Bam.
But now they're looking for it. He even swipes in Cade's way. They're gonna throw him out the game.
I think this series will go 7. I think first of all the Charlotte fans, because they've been hungry for this.
Yes.
I think games 3 and 4 in Charlotte, the fans alone will will them to win those 2 games. So I think that energy you were feeling in the playing game the other night, I think that was infectious, and you felt it. You saw it in their face. You saw that we want this. I think they should have won in regulation. They won in overtime, but I think Detroit got their experience last year, and they're battle tested from last year, but they're still a young team. Charlotte is not battle tested. It's the first foray in the playoffs, but they're also hungry. Their fan base is hungry. That city's hungry. They're not going to win the series. I think Detroit wins in 7, but I think this is, besides Nuggets Timberwolves, which I'm still teetering on 7, I think this is the one series that can go 7 and go be tough.
This is definitely not the NBA TV series.
No, this is actually I think it might be too rough for NBC. I think they might want to put this on NBA TV just because of the chippiness.
This is definitely an Amazon. It's definitely not a Peacock game. This is you said. This is.
I could definitely see them kind of like semi-pro when the game was commercial and everybody was fighting. I can see that shit happening here. Just everybody throwing down. So it's going to be interesting playoffs. We'll be here every week talking about it. If there's an emergency podcast, if something crazy happens with the Knicks, bet your ass we'll be here on a Friday night, just talking shit about something. So, but we'll be here for the whole ride through, along with Bruce on Wednesday nights. So that was a lot. Switching gears to the WNBA, we did 45 minutes on Tuesday, and there's still more shit to talk about. I talked about how the Liberty got better with Satu Sabali. They got even better. They re-signed Benijah Laney Hamilton, which was huge. She missed the whole season last year, so obviously I think she's going to be kind of a shell of herself for the first couple of weeks of the season. But that's a key reserve off the bench that they've needed, because it's all about depth, and depth was a big conversation we had on Tuesday. Getting Laney Hamilton back, that adds a substantial piece to that bench that the Liberty desperately needed.
Oh, 100%. Now you know what you're going to get coming off the bench. I think now the lineup is starting to take shape, and I see why. You can see why they're favored to win. Like you said, it's going to take some time for her to get back into the rhythm again, the game shape. But I don't think they'll be fine. They'll slowly roll her back into the rotation, and we'll see what happens. But I definitely think the Liberty, currently constructed, definitely should be a top favorite to win the whole thing. Over the Aces.
Liberty defense got worse. Who plays defense?
There you go. Who plays defense?
She also was all defensive first team 2020. Saying
Right.
it was the wobble. It was the wobble. She gets 2 steals a game. She's not bet. She's not gonna be, lockdown
Right.
Gary Payton defender. But can she D up when she needs to D up? Yes. And I think that's what you need. Steph Curry can D up when he wants to D up too, but he's not D'ing up on every defensive possession. I think Lady Hamilton would do that. The Liberty are the favorite to win. I know Bruce said favorite to win. They're plus 250. So right now, and this is not us talking as Liberty fans, and Jay covers the Liberty. The sports books are saying more than the Aces, the Liberty are the favorites to win the WNBA championship based on the moves they've made.
Yeah.
Before this move, which I'm curious to see now what the number looks like. But what do you see from the Liberty now? Do you think this makes them actual, it's Liberty Aces all
It's
over?
legit. It's all over again. It's an arms race, and they're neck and neck with the Aces.
Hold on. I gotta look this up because I don't want Bruce to think that we are like biased.
We're homers. We didn't say Knicks in 5. We didn't say sweet.
I mean, that's duh. We know that. They still have the plus 250, so they haven't took this into account yet. So I'm curious to see how the line moves the next couple of days. The other big news that happened: A'ja Wilson signs the richest contract in WNBA history, 3 years, $5 million. Obviously, there was no doubt that she would stay with the Aces. She already said, "I'm not going nowhere."
She had to get that. They had to give it to her.
How big is this move for the WNBA and for players like a Caitlin Clark, a Ryan Howard, a Paige Bueckers, to see 3 years, $5 million for A'ja Wilson? And listen, she's been in the league for a little bit now, and at some point, you're looking for the next big thing, and there's gonna be someone else getting 3 years, $6 million, 3 years, $7 million. How big is this contract for everyone in the league?
It's huge. It sets the bar, and it gives everyone something to aspire for. Because could you imagine if Caitlin won a couple of MVPs, how much she's probably going to go for? How much Indiana's got to cough up to re-sign her? So I think it's a great step in the right direction. Well deserved, and hopefully she buys Bam some icy hot for his ankle.
So the Aces bring back 90% of their scoring.
Nice.
And sign Kennedy Carter to her training camp contract. So she's not signed, but I think Kennedy Carter off the bench for the Aces can be very interesting. Kind of like with Lainey Hamilton for the Liberty. I think Carter could be a huge addition for the Aces going forward. The other big story, and we got to talk about this because this is what we do. Obviously, Azzi Fudd, number 1 pick in WNBA draft on Monday night. She goes to Dallas. And obviously, there is a relationship between Azzi Fudd and Paige Bueckers. At a press conference with AZ, no one mentioned it. No one talked about it. One reporter, because obviously it's got to be one, talked about it. And the Wings kind of said, "Yeah, we're not talking about that." My question to you is, I want to actually understand why you have to ask that question. This is from a Wings public relations staffer. We're going to respectfully decline from commenting on our players' personal lives. You and I cover games. You and I talk to coaches, players. We do the whole deal. How important is this aspect of the story? Because I think depending on what you do, what you cover, what your beat is, it's not that important. But should this be mentioned because it is a relationship between Azzi Fudd and Paige Bueckers? Or is this one of those things like, who gives a shit? Go play ball.
It's one of those who gives a shit. Definitely go play ball. However, because they're teammates, it's one of those things where like if they brought it up draft night, let it be, and that was it. Now it's a professional setting. People date their coworkers all the time. People, coworkers get married or whatnot. We all know about it. I think going forward, it shouldn't be an issue. It should be all about being professionals, being about, being athletes on the court. I mean, you think about it, because not say majority of the league are, they pretty much date each other. That's never been the topic of conversation before. Like, I'm pretty sure there's been other WNBA players that have dated each other. It may not be teammates, but It's none of our business. We've never been brought up before. I think in their case, especially because they both are respectively number one draft picks, it's one of those things where like, hey, let's worry about the team chemistry and see how the team moves forward. I wouldn't worry about the personal lives.
So Bruce said it, and I'm DeWanna Bonner, Alyssa Thompson. Well, they're doing a date. This is what Bruce said. So this is well known, right?
Right.
Courtney Vandersloot and her wife played together on Chicago Sky. I can't remember her name. I'm going blank. So this is not like a new thing.
It's not a new thing. Mm-hmm.
Question was crass. Who cares? They're together. No one cares. No one really gives a shit. If anything, they win a championship. It's cute.
Right.
Like the couple got a championship together. That's a cute thing. But I feel like, and it's funny because I was looking on LinkedIn because you always look at jobs on LinkedIn.
Mm-hmm.
And thank you, Quigley. That was Vandersloot's wife. And they're hiring for what was the phrase? A sports entertainment reporter.
Oh,
which I'm like, the fuck is that?
WWE? What's going on?
But I dealt with this when I worked at Newsweek. I wanted to write sports. I was there to write sports stories. But it became, hey, can you write about Kobe Bryant's divorce? I'm like, but he's not getting divorced. No, what if he gets divorced? I'm like, but he's so I had to write a story detailing California's 50-50 rule and how much Kobe Bryant's wife could get Vanessa in a possible divorce that wasn't even going to fucking happen, but it was in the conversation. We worked for a site, Double G Sports, that was purchased. I'm probably going to get some shit for it, but who gives a shit? Purchased by someone else who turned it into In the Zone, and it became a essentially sports gossip site.
Right.
I know I bowed out pretty fast. I know you kind of ducked out too.
I ducked out pretty fast too. I was like,
nah. We're good. Is this where we're going now? Because I feel like we get it. The sports media landscape has changed and people yelling and screaming on TV all day. Is this what has to happen now? Where you're going to have those hardcore reporters and then you're going to have bullshit reporters asking about, I know Providence's coach during the Big East tournament a couple years ago, during the press conference, I was like, oh, blah, 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 you're cute, or something like that. Something weird happened. And he's just like, all right. Is this where we're going now?
I'll say two things. One, like, you ever looked at your contact list in your phone and you're like, wow, I take pride knowing I have that person. It's easy arm's length that I can give a call to. Mm-hmm. You wear the Knicks jersey. You wear the Knicks jersey right now. One of those people are Charles Oakley. I have him on my phone. I can call him, talk shop about anything. It's something about being a credible journalist that you got to respect. And I don't like the whole sports entertainment angle of things where you're talking about gossip. Hell, you remember with Dolan, I said one little thing about Dolan, and those guys came with the email quick. You don't want to burn your bridges. I would not want to write about a possible Kobe divorce when you know he's happily married. Yeah, I just don't want to. I don't want to ever walk into a press room and they remember your name and they see you, then they start pressing you, kind of like LeBron did Stephen A. And one of the things that Stephen A. kind of forgot about now, especially coming up, were how him and Iverson were so tight. He was, he protected these guys. I like to think when I go into a locker room or I'm dealing with anybody in media or athletes, entertainment, I'm protecting them. I'm not gonna interview them and then talk bad about them afterwards and put a presser out there. So I just hate to see where we're heading and the landscape is changing like that. But this is what gets clicks. It's because of the microwave society that we're in. But the athletes still respect true journalists. So never change that.
See, and I know, and Bruce's been saying this for weeks. I know we've been talking about the Pablo Torre aspiration thing. And I think it's not there because you have, you and I on a smaller scale. We're part of that journalist society. I'm in the Basketball Writers Association. My name's in this book.
Nice.
Because I've been doing so much goddamn basketball lately. All right. So it's one of those things where, and I ask tough questions. I had Shaheen Holloway pissed at me for a couple of years when he was at St. Peter's. Kind of asked a couple questions that he probably didn't like. But you always go in thinking like, hey, I'm here to talk about the game, talk about the players, and really you want to talk the players up. Like, you don't want to kiss their ass, but you want to showcase their best, their worst, whatever, but keep it fair down the middle, right? You talk about your phone. In my phone, I have 5 athletic directors in New Jersey, which I'm like, I can call them anytime, but hey, I'm writing a story. You got time? Because they know
exactly.
I'm not gonna blindside you. I'm not gonna write some bullshit. I'm gonna be like upfront. Hey, I'm doing a story. How is this affecting you? When you have people in those situations, those press conferences, one, they're stealing a question from someone else. That's probably a good question. But 2, they're not adding anything to that press conference. A lot of times, my question I asked, that's a good question. Someone else asked a really good question. Like, I'm using that quote. That was a really good damn question. Now you wasted my time with a 45-second question and a 30-second answer that no one gives a shit about. And then the PR people get pissed. Okay, we're done. And like, well, that's it. We have no more access because numbnuts decided to ask a shitty question. So that reporter that asked about Azzi Fudd and Paige Bueckers probably fucked it up for everybody in that room because the Wings PR is like, we're good. And that's it before they got to a good question about how's it feel playing in Dallas, or what advice did you get from Gino, or whatever the case may be. It's just, it sucks that we're still in a situation where people like Bruce, who say journalism is dead because of these things. We go back to the lady in Jacksonville a couple months ago.
Right.
Which I didn't think much of, but I understood the outrage behind it.
Yep.
So it's just like, it makes our shit more difficult to accomplish.
It's not dead. It's on life support. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, listen, God bless Pablo Torre, who retweeted me. So God bless him. trying to keep shit going up here. This sounds going to be a quick show. I'm exhausted. I worked till 1:45 in the morning, Jackie Robinson Day. It was a very busy day yesterday for MLB.com. So,
speaking of which, real quick, I don't know how I feel about the Dodgers wearing the Brooklyn Dodgers hat against the Mets last night.
That's bullshit. That's bullshit.
Tight. I was tight. I was so tight about that. Did I tell you about the time where I think it was the Dodgers the champion, not this championship, the first one they won the year before, and I was going to a wedding. It was right after they beat the Yankees. I was going to a wedding in Calabasas, and it was the day of the parade. And I was schooling these young Dodger fans. It's like, they came from New York, right? They came from Brooklyn.
Like,
I was like, you guys you can't dodge LA traffic. That's a whole trolley thing, and I just blew their minds. But they reminded me how they beat the Yankees and the Mets to win that championship.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, that sucks. That, as a Met fan, it's a tough couple weeks for me right now. I'm trying to think about the Mets until June. Real quick, we got WrestleMania this weekend. So the Reigns Punk thing, it's growing on me a little, but not.
I'm there. I'm ready for that one. I'm ready for that one.
Okay, so you're ready for Sunday night.
Yeah.
Are you ready for the 25% off Saturday night show?
Listen, I don't know about your social media feed, but for apparently all my peoples are out there. All my fellow journalists and media heads, they're all out in Vegas right now. The WWE has a whole media row, kind of like the Super Bowl. I don't know if you saw Cam and Jey Uso this morning.
Yes, I saw that bullshit.
And then got Shannon and Ocho talking about it when he was on their show earlier today. So I'm probably gonna dibble and dabble in a lot of WrestleMania media stuff for the next couple of days. I'm not really excited about Saturday. I'm more so excited about Sunday. Brock and Obi to open it up
on ESPN.
On ESPN. That's crazy. And then though we'll see that day. But Cody's losing. Randy's gonna eventually be Cena's record at some point.
Here's my question, and I've looked at the Randy Orton Pat McAfee thing in different angles, and I was trying to run with TKO and why they're doing this and why Triple H is doing this, and I was trying to give him grace, but then the more you think about it, it's like the story was already there. Like, you had a built-in student versus teacher, 20-year relationship, blah, blah. The story was already built. You bringing Pat McAfee, who I get it, no one likes Pat McAfee. I'm sorry. Like, no one liked him before. No one likes him now. To add to a feud that you didn't need him in. and I'm like, people maybe just overreacting. And I've been watching. I've been trying to watch SmackDown, trying to figure, okay, what's the angle? And then when he came out and said, Ram Trucks is going to do 25% off, I'm like, is this like a card show from like 2 a.m. in 1997 when it's giving away like Michael Jordan rookie cards at discounted prices? It seemed like there's like, guys, buy a ticket. We really need people to come. Guys, 25% off, come to WrestleMania. It's a really good show.
Did you hear the ugly rumor that's going to happen Sunday?
Oh, Jesus, what?
They said apparently the rumor is you're going to see Cena. Well, you're going to see Orton, Pat, Roman, and The Rock in the ring together.
I'm telling you now. I'm telling you right now. I'm gonna watch this shit. I'm gonna watch both days because WrestleMania, and I feel like I have to watch it because as a
you have to watch it.
You have to watch it.
Next year, not so much.
If that image is on my screen on Sunday night to end the weekend, I'm gonna pull a Pat McAfee. I will never watch the WWE product ever again. If I see those four faces arm in arm, as Michael Cole says goodnight, I'm never watching that. I will watch Juggalo Championship Wrestling and never watch the shit again. I saw like Vince Russo at Bash at the Beach 2000, but I'm just saying, fuck that. I don't want it.
And also, I don't know how true this is. I'm hearing that we all know Pat's been rubbing ESPN the wrong way. So his contract's up already. That shit flew by. So the play is Ari Emanuel is positioning him to be like the face of Netflix. So when this deal is up and how Netflix starting to get all the podcasters going over there, that's where he's going to head, and he's probably going to be the first like multi-million-dollar man over podcaster on Netflix. So
Netflix bought over all the Ringer stuff and to kind of set the groundwork for Pat McAfee to come on Netflix.
Exactly, be the face of the podcast division, kind of like a Joe Rogan.
I was so liking Bill Simmons on Netflix. I was so liking that. I'm gonna be killed now. Mm-hmm. Anyway, enjoy WrestleMania.
Yes.
We will be texting definitely during the weekend. Emergency box out podcast on Sunday night as I just light that company apart if that happens. So I'm telling you now, if it happens on Sunday, you know we're going on, right? I will change the background. I will break at the Tri-State Heat graphic, and we will go off. I'm just letting you know now. You and the viewers will be back on Sunday night at 11 o'clock if that shit happens. Just saying. As always, great show, man.
Likewise.
So armchairing every Wednesday. I was waiting for a AEW's dead comment from Bruce. I haven't got that yet. New champion, Darby Allin. Armchairing Wednesdays, 8 p.m. We will be back next Thursday, 8 p.m. or Sunday night to shit all over the product. 8 p.m. next week. Playoffs start. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy the playoffs. Let's go Knicks. For Jason, I'm Kahlil. Thanks so much for watching. Peace.
This has been The Box Out with Kahlil Thomas and Jason Kortner. Subscribe now for the best tri-state area basketball talk.